All right, so listen, this is our second show of the day with the Canes Insight Daily Podcast powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Tough loss like that, you need to cover from all angles. And we had to talk to the one and only, the guy who, one of the people I listen to, really respect in this business. He's going to come with his own perspective, unfiltered, and that's why he's got such a huge following there at Caneville, Footballville. You know the name, Darrell Streeter. Darrell, how we doing?
What's going on, man? I'm trying to get some coffee this morning or something, man. Trying to wake up, bro. It was a long night last night.
We'll get these comments going. You'll wake up because I know you're fired up. You saw this in person out there. It was big, being there in person. I always find being there, you see things that you don't necessarily see when you're watching on TV. You're picking up the vibes. You're talking to people. Just kind of like, what are your impressions just from being out there in Dallas, Texas?
The Hurricane fans travel well. And that's something people don't say. They always want to talk about our stadium and how things look at our stadium and all that trash. But they travel well. When I'm walking through the media room and I can't see what's going on in the game, when you hear a roar, you can't tell if it's the home team or the Cane fans, because it's so many of them there. They travel really well.
That's the good news. That's the good part. Now, unfortunately, the negative part is what we saw on the field, and another season kind of going the way these have been going for 20 years, at least as of right now, man. So just football-wise, man, what are you seeing out there? We know this happened for a long time, every single year. Why is it happening this year?
You say we know what's happening.
I'm saying we know it's happened every single year the last 20 years, right? We've seen that, so it's not a surprise that it's happening necessarily. But why is it happening to this team? Like this November's collapse, right? Why is the November collapse happening to this squad?
Oh, I think every year it's the same thing. The common denominator, is Cristobal, the staff. It has to be. It has to be the common denominator. Barry Jackson jumped out there yesterday with a lot of numbers, and I'll preface it with this. I'll say this to Cane fans, right? Listen, it's kind of hard. You can only have these conversations in losses, right? D-Money, because as a fan, it's kind of hard to hear people talk about your child, which is the Canes, and you see it any differently because you want to feel that it's going to be right. So I want to preface it with this. So as fans, I sympathize. I understand. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge fan, but I became the media. And when I became the media, I was able to see things like clearly. Like I was able to see both sides of things. But a lot of times fans, they a lot of their answers support the program and they just want the program to be right, rather it being wrong. It feels like in games that we're kicking people ass early. It feels like it. It looks like it. On the stat sheet, they can't run the ball. They can't do this. They can't do that. And you look up and it's 7-zip. Right? And I'm telling my members, I'm telling the villains, I'm like, listen, it's 7-zip. I know it feels like we're doing what we want to do, but I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. And then it just plays out into a close game, whether it's penalties, whether it's whatever you want to blame, right? I heard a stat yesterday, every starting offensive lineman got a false start. That's Mario's. Those guys should be afraid of Mario. That's where he spends all his time at. That's where he gets his cafecito. He sits there. He's hanging out with them. He's getting them fired up before the game. He does one-on-ones with them. Those guys should be afraid of him. Every game, they're jumping off sides.
And not getting the fourth and shorts and the third and shorts, which is what you kind of thought was going to be the identity right here.
Right. Why?
That's a good point, man. I hadn't heard it put that way. That this is the unit. If he's going to hold anybody accountable, right? It's those guys. I wish I had the answers to why it's happening, but the truth is, it's not just happening; it's getting worse progressively, right? Because Notre Dame, you go back and look at that game; that was a clean ball game, and you were able to convert on short yardage and do all the things that you kind of said you were going to do up front. A lot of people were real high on our offensive line after that game, me being one of them. But you get to ACC play where you think it's going to be a much weaker opponent where you're going to be able to just walk through them, at least on the offensive line versus their D line. It's getting worse. And that to me is that's one of the more perplexing things about this whole deal.
Yeah, I mean it is getting worse. Bro, listen, I mean we're still out recruiting everybody. Transfer portal popped up, NIL popped up. We took advantage of that. Like we may be the number one transfer portal team in the country. Like every year we get the big dog.
Yep.
A couple other big dogs. So the talent is fourth year. The talent is here. It's not coming together. Listen, so let's do this. Let's do this. You had somebody up here a couple weeks ago. What was his name? Talked about JoJo.
Oh, maybe was that Mike Ryan? Maybe
Mike Ryan. I've heard his name before. He on the radio or something, right? He walked.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, oh, that's the D Money guy. But listen, Mike Ryan talked about JoJo. Hey, man, listen, he's developing. We've heard the story before. Yada 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 yada. And here at Caneville, like we know I've known JoJo since he was 10, 11 years old. JoJo doesn't have to develop to be a wide receiver. JoJo may be our one or number two wide receiver on the team. And that didn't happen this week, all right? They know that. That's why he got number one. They know exactly who he is. As Cane fans, right? We're trying to win. We're trying to win football games. Our offense doesn't always look like Cam Ward is still here. Right?
Understatement. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just going to say it that way. And arguably, our best wide receiver, maybe Malachi Tony, is extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? You could argue that if you want to, but we need them both on the field. Hasn't really got a target into the 8th game. Now, you could say, oh, he's being a bad. Oh, Mario's doing discipline. Oh, it's the 8th game. We got 4 games left. So now they unleash him. 5 catches, first quarter, 84 yards. SMU had no clue. It was almost like an ambush. I think he got one more target for the rest of the game. D-Money, as Cane fans, for all the Cane fans in the comment section, right? No matter what you may think of Little Black JoJo, right? He may be a bad guy. He may smoke weed. Whatever you think of him. Whatever. He came out this morning and said, stop listening to the rumors. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to tell you, JoJo's a good kid. JoJo's a hard worker. What you saw him do yesterday, because that's what he do. As Cane fans, you have to ask yourself, why aren't you guys out in front of University of Miami with pickets walking around asking why JoJo haven't played?
Trust me, those videos, we always do the JoJo videos. They get the most hits, man. So he definitely is a lightning rod topic. I will say this, because you know me, I am pro player, pro team. I want all these guys to do well. I mean, I'm out there at practice, talking to their moms and their dads and their uncles, and I see how much they pour into these kids and how much these kids pour into the game. I want them all to succeed. So you will never catch me downing a player like that gratuitously, because that's not where I'm at personally. I mean, it's a flaw of mine that I can't keep it real enough because I want these players to succeed. But that's the truth. So I'm coming from that place. But I will say, if with JoJo, you do it, he did have that drop, which turned the game around. That happens.
Right.
Made some great plays. I would say the difference between like a him and a Malachi to this point is just a consistency of play and a consistency of everything. Malachi is just extremely consistent in everything he does. And I think that's what's allowed him.
Consistent.
That's unreal. And that's what allowed him, because I mean, look, Malachi and JoJo, they're both South Florida guys. They're both, it's similar deal. And Malachi's obviously had more opportunities, more success. I think the consistency plays a role. injuries too. And really, it's just, man, it's been one thing after another with three guys to me, which is Jojo, Jordan Lyle, and Elijah Lofton, which coming out of spring, people are mad at me. They're like, man, D, you were hyping these guys as they were going to be the three best players on our offense, and they really have not been factors for us.
Mm-hmm.
I got to own that because, I was the number one hyper in spring, but as you got to camp, they had injuries, certain setbacks, so it hasn't materialized. And I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that there's a like, why would they want to? They thought Jojo was going to be the guy coming out of spring, same kid. You know what I mean? That was, everybody believed that was going to be the guy. So I don't think it's anything trying to hold him back. It's just, there's a lot of reasons why it hasn't come together. And obviously our explosive play ability, which is some of the worst in the country, we're feeling the effects of not having another guy like a Jojo next to a Malachi because we're not explosive. So it is, I'm not going to blame one person or thing. It hasn't happened like it has for Malachi. And that's hurting us because you see Ohio State, when they got two guys that are explosive, it makes a big difference than just having one guy that they know is our guy.
I got a comment. I got a question for you. Then a question for you, D.
Give it to me.
In the comment section, give me an answer because I know y'all a little delayed, so the answer will come in maybe 30 seconds. Do wide receivers drop passes?
Of course.
So the one wide receiver, because I don't remember anybody this season having 84 yards in the first quarter. I don't remember. I may be wrong. Right? So the one wide receiver that did something we haven't seen all year long, you guys mad because he dropped the ball?
Oh, no, look, I'm mad he dropped the ball. It was a big play in the game. But are you asking me, do I think he should be going to the bench for next game? Hell no. You got to keep rolling with him. You got to keep feeding him and feeding him and feeding him and get him going. Okay, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying, hey, he dropped the ball, he's done, put it away. I'm just saying, I think when the big difference right now to this point between Malachi and Jojo is that consistency factor at all times. Plus, Malachi didn't have an injury setback.
Why are we comparing them?
As far as like goal, because one's getting the opportunities and one's not. So I'm trying to, why does one get the opportunities and one getting less opportunities is what I'm saying. I'm comparing them because one's doing it with a similar kind of trajectory as far as South Florida guy, when he the Heritage, Chaminade.
Has CJ Daniels dropped balls?
He dropped one last week.
Has Marion dropped balls?
Yeah. That last drop one last week.
Give me Alex Baldwin for 300. Give me he dropped balls. How are we holding most talented guy at the position? You know what I'm saying? Accountable. To the extent of you're not targeting him again for the rest of the game that we lost for dropping the ball.
Look, they threw him a screen on a pretty big third down that it was not his, or second down. It was not his fault. The screen didn't go anywhere. It was not his fault. He got the ball. Yes. They saw it coming. They put it in his hands.
He ended -3 yards in the second half. Now, who has to answer for that? You think SMU took him away? SMU couldn't guard him if they had a safety over the top. I'm here to tell y'all Jojo Trader is that good, right? So for everybody saying, well, they could have just set him on the bench for no reason. Fine. Right, I give you that. That sounds idiotic, right? Well, in the chat, give me a good reason you sit him on the bench for 8 games. 8. Jameis Winston got caught stealing crab legs. I think he had to run stairs or something. 8 games. Jaylen Brown got arrested this season, kicked off Florida State team. He started for Mississippi State. Give me a reason to spend JoJo for 8 games. Give me a reason to send JoJo out there for 20 plays, and that same kid y'all saw at the beginning of the game not get 1 target in 20 plays.
Well, let me ask you, and I'm not asking this. I'm asking this honestly because I haven't heard the full take from you. I've seen parts of the show where you talk about this. I've seen on social. So, why do you think he's not getting those opportunities?
You know what, D? That's a membership answer I give. What do I think? My philosophy? But the fact that it happened, right? It ain't screw the reason why. You got to become a member to figure to give a philosophy behind.
I like the style. I do
the reason why, right? The fact that it happened should send Kane fans irate. You feel me? Like screw why it happened. It's kind of like nobody cares. Well, the reason it happened, who cares? You watched it happen, and then you watch the kid who ain't got targets all year long go berserk in one quarter. And then you watch our team take him out the game. Not SMU, not Red Lashley. You watch us take him out the game. So I don't think why it matters, right? It happened. It happened. And the kid is a star. I mean, on and off the field. I mean, he's arguably one of the most talented kids on the team. 8 games. D, you the head coach from the University of Miami. What would the kid have to do to get benched for 8 games? Give me some of the stuff. Come on, give me some of the stuff. Rob a bank.
See, I can't say that because anything I say, people are going to assume it's things that actually happen, right? So they're going to, I got to be careful when I say those kind of things. I will say I know for a fact that the plan coming out of spring and really out of summer too, actually really up until he got hurt, was that everybody knew how important he was to this offense and how good he was. At least this is what was told to me, that this guy, this is the guy that's going to take us. We're gonna go as far as he can take us because he can do things that we just don't have. So I mean I heard this from many people involved. So this was off the record before the season. So I don't think there was a misconception about the talent. As far as the specifics, it's one of those things where, I'll say you got to sign up to be a member to get that one. Sign up for Kane's Connection.
8 games
to get that one.
So in the chat, hold up. Okay, D Money. Okay, D don't want to play the game. In the chat, give me a reason you sit a kid for 8 games that talented. Give me a reason. 8 games. Give me a reason.
Well, he was hurt too. There was injuries issues too. I got to clarify that part. There were injuries involved in this whole situation. That's not the only thing that's going on, but there were injuries involved in the situation. That is. I saw him get injured right in front of my face when right before the year. So it's not the only reason, but that is one of the reasons that we got to talk about is there was injuries involved.
So when do you think he was available, D? And I know because you're there all the time.
You know what? I don't go as much during the season because I need some plausible deniability. I get nervous sometimes because if I go to practice in the middle of the week and I see someone's hurt, I don't want to have to kind of sugarcoat that I know he's hurt, but I can't tell any. You know what I mean? I don't like to lie like that. So I'll stay away more during the season than before the season. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer.
Okay, D, let me help you out. Because I see you tap dancing over there. All right, so listen, the games where he was going in,
I honestly don't know.
2 snaps, right?
Yep.
He was healthy.
Oh yeah, if he's playing, he's not suspended, right? And he's healthy enough to play. The games that he played, he was healthy enough to go, and there was no anything else. If he's playing in those games, he was good to go.
Right. So we saw him go in maybe 1 or 2 games, 1 snap. We lost to a Louisville team where they had our number on offense. Carson threw a bunch of interceptions. We needed a JoJo to help free up a Malachi, yada, yada, yada. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so now we get to game 8 and we finally get him targets. What could he have done? Did he steal Cristobal's car and take it? What could he have done? What could he have done that lasted 8 games?
I'll say this. There's a lot we don't see. And I don't know, to answer your question. I really don't know. I just know there's a lot we don't see. We don't see kind of the day-to-day. And I'm being careful saying this because when you say these things, people assume you're accusing someone of doing something when I really don't know. And I'm telling you the truth. There's some stuff that I know and I can't say. And there's some stuff I just do not even ask and want to know because plausible, just kind of keeping, I don't want that go out here and hide something I know because it could hurt the team and hurt the program's ability to win games.
Right.
I don't know, but I will say that, in my experience being around these things and seeing similar situations, these guys are around these kids all the time. There's film room, there's workouts, there's practices, there's so many different evaluation points that these coaches deal with. And then someone like Malachi, and because before the season, I was saying, people were talking about Ray, people were talking about anyone else. I said, listen, Malachi is going to be the guy. This is like coming out of fall. In spring, I thought it was going to be Jojo. Coming out of August camp, all we were talking about was Malachi, because everything you heard about Malachi was he's doing this right, he's doing this right, he's doing this right, he's doing this right, and then on the field is taken care. So I don't know the answer, but I know that there's a lot that gets evaluated besides just, hey, this guy's got the talent to help us. Because I know they knew he had the talent to help us because they saw him in spring. He was making one-handed catches. He was getting open easy. He's by far the most athletic receiver. And you put Malachi in that conversation as well. But as far as just being smooth and separating and body control to make catches, no one's as talented as JoJo. And if no one can see that, then
right. No. I mean, right. So I mean, and now we got 2 losses in the team that we thought was one of the best teams in the nation, right? Just a few weeks ago. And our coach was being a disciplinarian, right? And he held one of our best players. He held him out. Yeah. Now, Jordan Lyle, D-Money, listen, I'm going to say this. Everything you predict before the season, you're right. We got to get our shit together, bro. You're right. Jordan Lyle is about as talented could come. He too, somehow, mysteriously, haven't got the 60 carries that Char Brown got. And it don't look like he's gonna get there at this rate. I can't tell. I don't know.
And he's with him, he's not running well. Like when he's getting the ball, he's not producing. And I wonder how much of it is just he's not fitting what we're trying to do in the running game. And I'm not saying that to put him under the bus. What I'm saying is we got to get him going. So we got to figure out a way to get him going because of his talent, his ability to impact the game and make explosive plays. I mean, our running game right now, we're in the 80s in yards per carry. So when I say he's not getting it going, it's not, hey, we're not getting it, he's at fault for everything. Mm-hmm. We got to figure out a way to get him going. Because it's not just that he's not getting carries. He's not really doing well with the carries he's getting, aside from the one that he had against Stanford late in the game. So to me, with him, it's not so much, hey, he needs more opportunity. It's like we got to figure out a way to get him going because when he does get opportunities, he's not running as well as at least I think he's capable of. And I don't think it's an effort thing because I know Lyle goes hard. He is one of the most hardworking, driven, rock-solid dudes and off the field kind of work ethic-wise there is. So I think we got to get him going. We got to figure out a way to get him going because he's too talented.
Remember last year, Damian Martinez started slow. Took him maybe 4 games to get going.
Yep.
What did they keep doing? Starting him, feeding him the ball.
Yep.
It's called opportunity. Sam Brown in our first game versus Florida showed some effort issues. They kept starting him. They kept throwing him the ball. It's called opportunity. They choose and pick who they want to give the opportunity to. You can believe it or you don't want to believe it. It's chosen. It's not always hard work. It ain't always these things. You ain't got to.
But yeah, but I mean, coach is always going to choose. Coach is always going to choose who they think is who they want to play, and that's every program. But like, why would my question is, why would these guys who I mean, he took the first snap against Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think it's like they don't like. I think it's the opposite. I think they want to get Lyle going. I think the problem is they're not figuring out a way to do it. They want to get him going. They've been force feeding him the ball when he's not really doing much with the ball.
How many carries? They know How many carries he had?
Let's see. I'll pull up his stats here. He had. Let's see here. I'll tell you right now. Give me 1 second. So last game, pull up the game log. He had 7 carries for 3.3 yards a carry, and his average for the year. This is the problem: is you look at the whole year, got 28 carries, 3.3 yards a carry. So I mean, maybe it's just getting him more snaps to get him going. Maybe I just think they got to figure out a way to unlock him in terms of he's a more patient guy.
You talk really fast, D.
Yeah.
He had 7 carries. He had 7 carries last game or this game.
He had 7 carries this last game against SMU. 7 carries for 23 yards.
Is 7 carries enough to get going?
Is 7 carries enough to get going?
Yeah.
you got to show something when you got other guys carrying the ball as well. I mean, Mark Fletcher was running for 5 yards a carry. Like we got to get him going. It's not just I'm looking at the stats right here. There's really no game where he got rolling. I mean, look at Stanford was his best game, 4 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown, which was on a 17-yard run. Everything else has been 3.3 yards or below. So, I mean, I think Lyle's a stud. I think if he transfers somewhere else, he'd put up numbers, which is why I want to make it work here. I want us to make it work here. But I think it's more about we got to figure out how to get him going schematically. What type of runs is he going to do more effectively than Fletcher or Marty Brown? Because for what we're doing right now, those other 2 guys have been more effective.
Give him the ball the same way you did Martinez. You put Fletcher behind him and you fed Martinez until he figured it out. I mean, it's opportunity. All these guys have talent. If y'all haven't figured this out, right? They all have talent, right? Give him the same opportunity you gave him Marion for the first 7 games, right? Give him the same opportunity we keep giving Alex Baldwin. You know what I'm saying? You get opportunity and then you eventually pop. He's our most talented running back probably. He can do a lot.
Yeah,
of
I would agree with that 100%.
He can go. He can add some explosiveness. I would think you would want to get feed a guy that can go 50. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they can't put it. You know what I think? You know what I think, D-Man? And this is what I think the problem is. I think as hardworking as Cristobal is, great recruiter he is, I think if you look at coaching staffs, right? Like I think there needs to be people in the room that help self-scout, people he could bounce himself off of. I think guys like Zoe and Ed Reed, I think those guys being in the room, right, when they were there, were people that he could, you know what I'm saying, he can bounce ideas off of. Somehow those guys got shuffled out of here, but I think he needs people around him that support the things he's not good at. And I don't know if he's, you know what I'm saying, if he wants to hire guys that may have more experience than him, who's done more, but I think he needs people around him who can help him self-scout, people he can bounce things off of. I don't know if we have enough experience in the room. For everything we do wrong, right? Like for everything we do wrong. Oh, Jojo dropped the pass. Oh, backdoor interception. Have you looked at SMU roster? Have you looked at the team that beat us roster? I got next to Jennings. I got a nice shot of Jennings in the end zone yesterday before the game started. He's 5'9", 5'10" at the most.
Yeah, he was
170, 180 pounds, soaking wet on on Thanksgiving with bricks in his pocket. I don't know if he's a slot receiver or a quarterback. Have you looked at the guys that are beating us and what the coaches are doing with the guys that are beating us? Bro, listen, at the end of the day, 14-4, like in the ACC, isn't good enough when Lashley's 21-2 in his last 23 games.
Absolutely.
It's just not good enough. You could blame TVD, you could blame Beck, you could blame our Gidry, our defense last year.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm here to tell you, if something doesn't change behind those doors, you'll find somebody else to blame next year, other than the problem.
Yeah, man, listen, we talked on the last show, and I agree with you that the idea that, there's not a – last year you could say our defensive line was doing things they shouldn't have been doing schematically, right? And people that were not Miami fans, people that were outsiders could see that and say, this is not the way it needs to be done. Our defensive back talent was subpar. You saw what happened on defense. Those changes were made. I mean, those changes, I think, were made successfully as far as Heatherman's been a big improvement. The defensive backs have been a big improvement. So you can't say that's the reason. And then Beck, TVD, that was a total collapse. I hope that doesn't happen from Beck. We still got 4 games here to see which direction he goes.
Right.
You say, okay, well, TVD, he just was thrown to the other team. I mean, Beck's had turnovers, but it's not a TVD type collapse, at least not yet. No. So my point is that, and yet this again, I'm just agreeing with you, really, is there's not one thing on this particular team that's disappointing to say you get rid of this side thing and it's going to be fine. I think this is an internal issue which needs to be addressed because the bottom line is the team's getting worse over the course of the year. Yeah. We're more penalized than any team in the country. The offense is not explosive. And the thing that we're going to hang our hat on, which is physical running game, short yardage, that's not there.
Yeah, for the people that want to blame Beck, because I know there's a lot of those guys out there say we chose the wrong quarterback, right? Beck was 2 touchdowns, 274 yards yesterday. He threw an interception. Jojo dropped it, went into a guy's hands, and he threw the horrible interception in overtime. We had over 100 yards rushing, and I think they had maybe 20 yards rushing in the fourth quarter, or something crazy like that. They couldn't run the ball. D, you should win those games.
Yeah, what'd they run? What SMU run for him? -9.9 a carry until overtime?
Listen, you should win those games. If your quarterback throws 2 touchdowns, damn near 300 yards, you rush for 100 yards, you should win those games. You shouldn't be in overtime with a 3-loss team.
No, Beck was not the reason we were in overtime at all. I mean, he played really at the interception, which was off Jojo. I thought he played pretty clean the whole game. It really was not until the last play overtime that you could say, all right, Beck, you cost us here. But like you said, how do we get there against a team that did not have very good pass defense? They couldn't get any pressure on Beck. He had all day to throw, right? And, you had a running game that you spent a lot of money on and built up, but couldn't get it done. So I'm with you, man. You cannot scapegoat Beck for this. Is he Cam Ward? No, he's not Cam Ward. But we don't get it done with Cam Ward either.
Exactly. So no, bro. It's not. And yesterday, man. Yesterday, whether SMU game plan for our offense or not, I'm sure they did not game plan for Jojo Trader. It's almost like a sneak attack. We ambushed them. They see they wasn't prepared for it. 84 yards in the first quarter. It was the perfect. We had the perfect thing to take advantage of to beat them. Jojo could have had 250 yards receiving. He would have beat them alone yesterday just because they had no clue that he was going to be featured. D, we took him out the game.
What I want to know is, I know you got the full story, and by the way, you got to do your plugs too. You know where to send them, but. Why do you think it is? Because what I'm pushing back on is I know they know that he's good because I talked to him and I seen it myself, and I was the one preaching that to everybody that would listen that spring. So I think everybody knows the guy has the ability. Everybody knows we need that. Like, it's not like we have another guy that does what he does. So that we and the stats show it, because we're one of the least explosive teams in the country. So I think everybody knows what he can bring to the table. So without specifics, just where do you think the biggest disconnect is that maybe we're saying this is why he's not playing, this is our story, and that story is stupid for this reason? Like, where's the
game? No, he was in the game. He was in the game. He was in the game. I got videos. He was still in the game. They just didn't target him anymore. Once again, the why doesn't matter, right? This is what matters. Everybody in here has played NCAA football, Madden football. If somebody gets hot and the other team can't stop him, D, what do?
I think the screens, which they did go to late, but I would have maybe gone to the screens a little earlier with him. I know we do a lot of screens with Malachi for obvious reasons, but the ball in his hands to get him into the game.
They couldn't guard him, D. So if somebody's hot in the first quarter, right? We all play Madden. Like, we all haven't coached. Okay, fine. Dawson can hold that over our head. He can come in and talk all the coaching jargon. But we played Madden. If somebody's hot, right, you go to him, right? And if you stop going to him, there has to be an adult in the room to tap somebody on the shoulder and say, hey, what the fuck are we doing? No? Somebody... If it's Carson Beck's fault, Dawson has to say it's Carson Beck. If it's Carson Beck and Dawson, Mario has to tap Dawson on the shoulder and be like, hey, he had 100 yards in the first quarter. What are we doing?
Got a
So
lot
I
of,
don't care the reason. The reason is us trying to guess, and we get caught up in Reasonville, and we're trying to figure out why. You saw what happened. You saw it happen. One target in the second half. Nobody tapped. Mario didn't tap. Dawson didn't tap. Carson, you know what I'm saying? Nobody said, hey, because guess what? He was running wide open. I had people texting me from the stands, hey, listen, JoJo's wide open out there, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking it back because the chat's calling me out and they're right about the screens. He was getting open downfield. When I said the screens, I just meant, you know, get him engaged early, like coming out of the half, like just kind of get him in the game so he's fully locked in and we're rolling to him.
He was already in the game. He was about to make Jeremiah proud.
No, but he had a tough he had a tough play. You know how that is.
He was already going, D.
He had a momentum shifting play, which can psych players out. We've seen that before when there's a big mistake. And again, I've seen guys drop passes in games that they get 200 yards into the player of the game and they're holding the trophy. I mean, it's that you get past drops.
You're talking about after the drop. Okay,
yeah, I'm saying after the drop.
So I'm gonna tell you guys this because y'all can't see everything on TV. His energy, right? Like if you paid attention to JoJo's energy, it kind of matches Malachi's energy. They South Florida kids, they high energy kids. The culture of football is kind of, they play off of, you know what I'm saying? It's the culture. He was hyped the whole game. Like you can see his energy. The whole game he was hyped. You saw him and Malachi with the handshake in the end zone. Like it's the South Florida kids play off of energy, how they look, and all these things. That's what it is. The whole entire game he was hyped. He had a bounce in his step. Like I think we need that on our offense. Like our offense is always kind of looks kind of like mundane and, hey man, we're not sure if we want to be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We kind of like no energy. But the whole entire game, he was ready. So he didn't get down in the dumps when he dropped the ball. So y'all can stop all the narratives. Write it down. He didn't get down in the bumps when he dropped the ball. He went on the sideline and he dapped everybody up and Carson back. So Mario had to tap. Dawson had to tap Carson and be like, Carson, what are you, blind? We got a guy with 100 yards in the first quarter over there. Or Mario had to tap Dawson. Somebody had to tap somebody and be like, hey, listen, what are we doing?
I mean, was he not running routes on the plays he was in?
He was wide open. I mean, he was out there just running around. I mean, whether he was open or not, if he has 5 catches for 84, you throw him the fucking ball even if he's double covered. Until they show that they can stop him. See, we all have played football. Like we get caught up in these emotions and we get caught up in the conversation. We all have played or watched football. When the guy can't be stopped, you make the team stop him. You don't not throw his way. Like you don't not target him anymore. It's not like they didn't roll a safety over there or anything. They didn't adjust anything. Because if they would have, Malachi would have went crazy. So the question is not why. You know what I'm saying? It's not why they did it. You saw it happen. It happened already.
We got a comment from Ron the Man here. I think this is I don't know if this is the case, but this is an interesting idea. Is that JoJo didn't lose confidence, Beck lost confidence in him feeling like he cost him the pick. I mean, what I'm saying is, he's out there running around, so the quarterback ultimately has the ball and didn't find its way there. So it's hard to say without looking at the film and like really watching that coach's tape. You were there. You had a better view than I did because I'm watching the TV.
Now I'm telling you, Beck lost confidence in the one guy that did something this year that no wide receiver on the team has done. He lost confidence in that guy.
We got a comment from Gabe the Confused here. I want to get to appreciate your support. Says ref issues multi-year and clear cognitive bias. They look disproportionate to Miami game for penalties. Speak out against the refs. I can't go with the refs just because we get penalties every year in every game. So like at some point, it's got to be us.
Have you seen that video that we posted from Miami football where they put all the penalties? It's bad. It's bad.
Oh yeah.
It's bad, D.
All right, I'll find that one. I'll retweet it.
Yeah, it's bad. But the penalty thing, like I never hang my hat on that, right? Like, nah, bro. They wasn't supposed to be in the game with us. We was a 10-point favorite, but it's bad. I put it on my Twitter, like, it's bad, D. It was bad. The catch wasn't the catch. I was standing right in front of Marion when the guy put him. It was bad. It was bad. But beside that, like, we gotta not do stupid stuff to shoot ourselves in the foot.
I'm with you. I got a comment from Utown. This is one I think I want to get to. Lane Kiffin ran a reverse pass on 4th and 1. Mario gets 8 yards on first, and Mario runs it twice. Sorry, Beck gets 8 yards on first, and Mario runs it twice. Mario does not want out scheme. Mario is the problem. I think especially in the short yardage, right? If you're going to say we're not going to come up with anything creative, because a lot of teams hit big plays off 4th and 1. You know what I mean? That's there's different opportunities there. If we're going to say, all right, we're just going to be straightforward, steamroll you, get these conversions and keep it moving. If you're not getting those conversions against these teams, which don't recruit 5-star, 4-star defensive linemen, it's hard to say that that's a successful philosophy, right? The premise of it that, hey, we can get in short yardage, we're just going to run it right down the gut. We're going to just use brute strength to push guys off the ball. We're going to overwhelm ACC D lines and get these first downs. If that's not happening, then you can't really justify that philosophy that, hey, we don't need to out scheme guys. We could just go straight ahead, because it's not happening.
Right. Dog, listen, in person from the field, right? Because I get it. I worked really hard to get a credential. I'm on the field. I see it different. Our offensive line in front of Stanford, in front of SMU, looks like goddamn Monstars or something. Remember Space Jam?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like, dog, when our offensive line stands in front of their defensive line, it looked like the Monsters versus whatever the other team was called on Space Jam. Now, how are we not getting any push?
Some of it is they know it's coming, so that's, you have to deal with that aspect. That there's no second thoughts at all of what might happen. Whereas if you go against like a Louisville, if it's 4th and 1, think about all the things we're worried about in the stands and what might happen on that part, or SMU, right, when they do that. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, I think guys aren't performing that well. There's this one thing about this offensive line, and I didn't pick this up really until I talked to people that know a lot more than me. I mean, talk about guys, at the highest levels of football that are not necessarily Canes affiliated.
Yeah.
And they said that one of the things is, we actually cannot do too many things in our running game. They said, well, first of all, we do more stuff than people think, but we can't do certain things because we're not that athletic on the offensive line. We got size. So if you're not that athletic, that you're limiting some of the stuff you could do movement wise to spring these long runs, then you better be able to just, plow straight ahead, like you said, because they're monsters compared to the other lines, and it's just it's not happening.
Athletic, what do they mean? Like
movement, like footwork, like getting out in space. We're not going to get out in space as effectively with a Bell and an Inez than maybe a smaller offensive lineman. But the trade-off is you can blow guys off the ball. But if you're not blowing guys off the ball, you're ineffective.
We've all seen those viral videos of Cooper and Malgore blasting guys downfield.
Yeah, Malinois for sure. No, Malinois for sure. Malinois is as athletic as it comes in the open field.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it. I heard a different one. I heard that our splits are so close that with usually like an 8-foot space, we're making it like 7.5, 6.
Yeah, no, splits are definitely tight.
And then we add a tight end.
It's a conservative philosophy.
Yeah, and as we add a tight end, the defense is allowed starts bringing DBs and stuff down, and it just creates a traffic jam because now they're bringing more people down. We're predictable, and it creates a traffic jam.
Yep.
That's just a philosophy somebody I talked to that they was explaining.
Yeah, they want to avoid negative plays. That is 100% accurate. That we have a very conservative philosophy to not have gaps where guys can blitz through and make it a play in the backfield and get you behind the sticks. Now the flip side of that is if you got to open gaps too. And right now, when you're 82nd or whatever we are in yards per carry, obviously that part of it's not happening. So yeah, you're limiting negative plays, but we're not getting very many positive plays right now.
No, D, I don't know if I said this on here with my members, right? In my membership, I thought we were playing boring football like Michigan. Did I ever say that on here before? Talked about Michigan?
Probably, yeah.
So I went to go watch Michigan play. And I know the villains probably laughing because they know what I'm finna say. I was like, hey, let me go check the Michigan out to see if I don't want to be boring like Michigan. They run the ball. Sometimes they never pass the ball. And I went to see Michigan play. And I saw 3 50-yard touchdown runs. And D, I was appalled. I came back to my membership and I was like, hey, bro, listen, we're not Michigan.
Yeah, they made explosive plays. You look at the explosive play ranks when they won the championship, and it's, way ahead of where we are this year.
So I went and peeped in on them last week again. I went and peeped.
What about this year's team? I think I talked about 23. Yeah, this
year's team.
Yeah.
With the running back is really good though. So
yeah,
I went
just
and peeped in on them last week, the backup running back, 50-yard touchdown versus Michigan State. We're not that. We're a different level of boring. Okay?
Oh yeah, this year, forget about it. No, I'm looking at just looking at long scrimmage plays, right? I'll pull it up right here so people can see what I'm talking about. This goes to what you're talking about here. So long scrimmage plays, it goes right down the line, 10, 20, as you can guess. So look at 10 yards, we're 69th. See how Michigan's doing. Ahead of us, 44. But then as you go down the line, let's just pick 40 yards right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you look at Michigan, 39th, Miami, 98th. You go to let's say 60 yards, right? Let's say 60 yards. This is Miami Hurricanes, 97th, Michigan, 34. So just some numbers to what you're talking about. Those are stats from this season.
What are you looking at? Boy, that's awesome. What is that?
CFBstats.com. Yeah.
What is it?
CFBstats.com.
Oh no, that's awesome. No, we're not. And Michigan has a freshman quarterback, so you can put 8 in the box. They're reluctant to pay. You know what I'm saying? And they're explosive. Now, this is not a Mark Fletcher issue. Mark Fletcher is 6'3", 220. We know his purpose, but we have other guys on the bench that can do, you know what I'm saying, look different than Mark Fletcher, the Lightning and Thunder. We choose to run Thunder and Thunder. Like we have Pringle, we have Lyle, we have Hellcat. Y'all saw these guys versus Stanford. We choose to play football the way we're playing it. We saw a guy look explosive for us in the first half yesterday, and he had one other target. Listen, y'all eyes work. I mean, you have to make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, the results are what they speak. I mean, the results are what they are. They speak for themselves. The eye test and the stats, to me, are hand in hand. I mean, everything that anyone says about this team, you see it in the stats, and you saw it in this game. No explosiveness. Conservative in the pass game. Someone just pointed out in the comments, we had 275 yards passing. Everybody's passed for more than that against SMU, right? And we know that Beck had all day to throw. The fourth down, the third down stops, short yardage situations. I mean, you go down the line, everything that we struggled with since the last drive of the Florida game. Feels like we've been struggling with all these things at least. The penalties, it's all there. Eye test stats, and it's been consistent. And in some cases with the penalties, it's something that goes back to Oregon. It's not like a new deal. You could just say we got a penalty-prone group of players. These are things that are consistent, which is why kind of going back to the original thing we were talking about, you can't just say bad defensive backs, defensive scheme doesn't fit, cut it out. These are kind of integral deals that we're struggling with.
Yeah. Right. I mean, but what's more telling is that how does Jeff Brom get a Miller Moss prepared to come in here and play against Bain and Mesidor? How does Lashley prepare a Jennings, right, to come in here and play against our vaunted defense? Like how is he successful with Jennings, who the whole offense looked bad last week versus Wake Forest? How does he prepare them to come in here versus our vaunted defense and sneak out here with a win? We could talk about us all day long. How are other coaches doing it? How did Lane Kiffin get a D2 kid ready in a week? Because I know the story. Austin got hurt. He had a week to change his offense. They've lost one game with a 5'10", 6' D2 kid that had never played Power 5 football. And we're saying Carson Beck We picked the wrong quarterback. Well, how good does our quarterback have to be for us to be successful as a team? Y'all tell me. Because last year we had God sent us a quarterback last year, and we didn't make the ACC championship game.
Yeah, quarterback's not like that. Like we talk about the mystery quarterback that's going to save us in other years. Like, hey, if we had X, Y, Z, I don't know who you add that makes a huge difference on this team right now. I mean, Julian Sain, who's the Heisman frontrunner, really good player. You think you put Julian Sain in this team? It's a big difference. I don't think so.
No, I think we have the right guy. I think we have the wrong guys managing him. Like you got a veteran quarterback. I mean, the only way Brom can come in here with a Miller Moss and get out of here alive is if that he's putting his quarterback in the best position to be successful. We've seen Miller Moss throw 4 or 5 interceptions in a game. He was benched at USC. So it's partly the quarterback, and then it's partly the adults in the room preparing that kid, because Carson Beck said it in the media day, if my coaches aren't coaching me, then they're not doing their job. I need to be coached. So it's partly the quarterback, then it's partly the adults in the room to manage the situation, to put him in the best position to win, and not throwing Jojo the ball for the rest of the game was not the goddamn answer, D.
Listen, when you only throw for 275 yards, I'm just going to pull this up real quick because I want to get to this, because you look at SMU's game log. Just got to pull up the stats again because I think it's important to look at. So East Texas A&M, right? Not exactly a powerhouse. They threw for 244 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much what we did. You look at, let's see, a team like Stanford. We saw that passing game. That passing game was not very good.
Right.
They threw for 278 yards against SMU, so more than we did. You look at Baylor, a team that has some talent on offense, but is limited in terms of the offensive line, and actually runs a pretty similar run scheme to us. They threw for 440 yards. So, I mean, that to me is where you look at the passing game and say, what do you need to be effective against this bad of a pass defense? Because you have a 6-year quarterback who has proven his record's going down by the week, but it's 30-5. He's thrown for a lot of yards in his life. You have the best pass protection you could ask for. The offensive line has a lot of problems. We've talked about they're disappointing as far as the penalties, the run blocking. They're a disappointing unit overall, but pass blocking, they've been on point. So you have the pass blocking to do what you need to do. Right. And teams are stacking the box, so you have favorable looks on top of the fact that your personnel is better. So why is this passing game where it is? I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered because the results for the passing game are indefensible.
And then we ambushed them with JoJo. Like they probably had no clue that JoJo was going to get a target. Like, so you're right. What's missing? Like Jerry Rice, what we need Jerry Rice. We need who we need to roll out there, bro, because we have everything to win the ACC. Period. I mean, we have enough, but D is not coming together, and we got a couple villains that we call long-term villains. They just think that, hey man, just give us some time. We win 9-10 games this year. We haven't done that in the last 20 years. Give Cristobal some time. He'll get it fixed. And we call them the long-term villains. They like the stock market. They the long-term guys. They the 401k fucking ETF. Like, and if you guys want to do that, you know what I'm saying? He's gotten us to a place that we haven't been in a while. We haven't won 10 games in 2017. I don't know before that when have last one. This year, if they can keep it together, he may get to 9-10. Right? So if you guys just want to roll with the punches and think that it gets itself fixed in time, we have people that see it that way.
I'm with you, man. Mr. Prime says go 4 wide sometimes. I think definitely we got to loosen up with Beck. It's just we got nothing to lose. Seasons on the ropes. You know, we don't even know if it's done or not as far as playoffs. Some of that's out of our control. But yeah, it's time to let it loose here. I got some more super chats I want to get to here.
Okay.
Dan Alden says, "Camp by leadership. Beck doesn't have it. Camp covered up last year. I mean, Cam is #1 overall pick for a reason, but we lost 3 games last year too. So I don't know if that's the one issue with us right now. Utah saying the best players of Florida wide receivers. Think why they don't come here. Going back to Julio, Jojo's treatment yesterday is a perfect example. Look, I would counter to say Malachi Tony has been one of the stars of college football. So I don't know if you could just paint with one broad brush, but I would say in Jojo's case, we need what he has the ability to provide. And who's to blame for the fact that it's not happened this season? You know, I'll let everybody else kind of figure that one out. It's not happened. And as a result, and now going back to the, coaching staff, you have an offense that's very expensive and has a lot of players people want that is not explosive at all. So regardless of who's to blame for this whole scenario, I don't want to personally open that can of worms, but the results, the results are what they are. So I'm saying is I'm not to let anybody off the hook because this is Mario's offense and it's a very expensive offense with good players and it's not producing. So whoever's right or wrong, I'm sure the truth's somewhere in the middle because that's usually how these things go. The result of it is on Mario, and what Jojo could bring is not on our offense right now, and that's why we're not a very good offense for what we're paying for it.
I look at it like most of the people don't know why he was being held out. It took 8 games, right? And the first thing comes up in the chat is no way they just held him out for no reason. He had to do something, right? So I asked you guys, what could he have done that took 8 games? Fine. If there's no way they held him out for no reason, right? Okay, fine. You saw him get in the game yesterday. He didn't have to get into a rhythm. He just was better than the guys that was in front of him. He started going off. And then you watched us take him out the game plan. And you guys are still asking, he must be doing something. It had to be the drop. You watched us take him out the game. So it's kind of like, D, you always talk about the kids playing sports. If your daughter keep coming home saying, the teacher be bothering with me at school. And you're standing here, you and your wife saying, hey, we know how she is. She could be a little rowdy. You know what I'm saying? No, teacher ain't just picking on her, right? And then you go on a field trip to the youth fair, and you watch your daughter do one thing, and you watch the teacher send your daughter back to the bus. So this time you just saw it in your face, right? It's like you watched it yourself. This was on national TV. No, just didn't throw him the ball no more. SMU found a way to shut him down. D, man, I ain't trying to mess up your relationship with
yeah, man. Listen, Street, hold on. Listen, let's start right there. Let's start right there because I wanted to. If I was worried about it, do you think I'd be bringing you on and pulling up these comments doing all this?
No, you wouldn't. Because I told you
I don't trust me.
Right.
I'm not. I want that. That's what we're here for. All I'm saying is, and this is just my things like injuries, things like off the field. I try to avoid them because number one, I don't have the answers as far as every little detail. So you say one detail and then the whole thing gets filled in, which is not fair to anybody involved. So I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because I really just don't. I know a thing, but I won't know the whole deal, right? And so I try. It does more harm than good for me in my spot to do that because I really just don't know. I got to. You got to get me one of those free subscriptions to Footballville, so I could get that one. But
I want to win. I want to win. So I'd rather make them run the stairs. make them run some stairs, dog. Like we're trying to win. I don't know if I ever saw a player this level suspended or just just not a part of the goddamn game plan for 8 games. I don't know if I ever seen that.
A player.
I remember Deion Sanders took a running back from Kentucky the kid from IMG, and brought him to Colorado 2 years ago, and just didn't play him at running back. Like, this kind of reminds me of that. It was the kid, Cavassier, that played for IMG because his mama named him after a liquor, and he took him to Colorado, and he just played him on special teams, and he never played him at running back. Cavassier Smoke, I think his name was. He was really good at Kentucky. I don't know if I ever saw a kid, like a talent this good in football where coaches are trying to win, and he done something so egregious that didn't get him kicked off the team, whatever it could have been, but it kept him out for 8 goddamn games. Y'all can give me some examples. I may be dead wrong. Give me some examples in the chat. It's more y'all than us. Like, I might be wrong.
Here's what I'll say. So we've seen guys lead the program and have success elsewhere. Look at SMU.
Right.
We've seen kids lead the program and have the same problems that they had here at other places. We've seen coaches replace coaches at Miami, coaching the same kid and get more out of them. And then we've seen, you know, the player that was a problem with the old staff is a problem with the new staff. It just doesn't connect. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's the coach's job to get the most you can get out of this particular player. I don't know the ins and outs of the deal. I know if he went to SMU and had 1,000 yards, would that shock me? It wouldn't, because we've seen this situation before. Now, does that mean that maybe certain things change when you get in a new environment? Kids, you know, develop at different paces, maybe. But at the same time, your job's to get the most out of them. So with Lyle, with Jojo, with Lofton, with all these guys who have their own different issues that they're trying to get on the field. The bottom line is not an explosive offense, and these are the guys you have. So if you do not get it out of them, and someone else does, that's on you. And we've seen this happen before. So to assume that, hey, it's the kid's problem, I don't think is the right way to do it, because we've seen this happen before. Now, at the same time, someone that, you know, some people mature different times. I don't know. All I know is that this offense needs what he brings. We have to get him going. We got 4 games left in this regular season. Hopefully there's more after that. That's not a guarantee. He is one of those guys that we just have to find a way to get going. And if we cannot find that production from him, ultimately Mario's record and the offensive rankings are going to be what they are. So that stays with the staff, regardless of who finger pointing and all this and that. I'm not going to get into that because I really just don't know. I know what the results are, and you got to get it out of the player. That's what I'm saying.
Where's Peter Reeves at this morning?
I think he's on the plane. He's coming back down from where you're at.
Oh, he was here. He was here in Texas. I get on the plane maybe 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I think he's on the plane.
So when you get back in here, y'all get back on the show, just ask him, because I remember that show where he talked about Kevin Beard and this kind of falling on Kevin Beard with the wide receiver room kind of falling apart, right? And I made the comment about, well, listen, before you talk about Kevin Beard, you got to talk about Malachi in his room. Ask Peter Reeves when he get back on here with you, does Kevin Beard get the credit for what he saw Jojo do yesterday in the first quarter? Because the situation that we thought was bad, you know what I'm saying, and going bad, kind of ironed itself out, and then it took the kid 1 quarter to show how talented he was or how hard he's been working, right? Peter Reeves, come ask Peter Reeves that, hey, listen, does Kevin Beard get credit for that it turned around in the quarter? Now, I don't know if Kevin Beard in charge of targets and shit, but does he get credit for the way JoJo looked yesterday?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I try to be, people think sometimes I'm just trying to protect people, but a lot of times I don't know. Like, he's the wide receiver coach, so we give him credit for the success, or is he going to get credit for it not happening? I don't necessarily know. So that's why ultimately it goes down to, look, Mario's going to be judged by wins and losses. Dawson's going to be judged by the points on the board and the explosive plays. Right now we're 6-2, heading into a lot of games where me and you are going to wake up not knowing if we're going to win or not, no matter what the spread is. And the offense is, I think, 43rd something like that, and scoring offense and explosive plays. We saw the stats. They're in the 90s and 80s for everything. So they got to figure it out. Is who's to blame or get credit for different parts? That's a tough one for me, just because it's, when it's rolling, everybody's going to get credit. And when it's not rolling, everybody's going to get blamed. And right now, that receiver room's got to get more production.
What did you think what did you predict what did you predict the record to be before the season started?
10-2. I thought we lose one of those Notre Dame UF ones, and then we'd lose an ACC game.
After the first 5 games, did it change?
Yeah, for sure. I thought ACC was going to do all the work. I thought the hard part was Notre Dame.
Right. We all did. What did it change to?
I knew we could drop one because we've seen it a million times, but I thought for sure, 11 wins once you get past FSU. You drop one, maybe.
Yeah, I thought maybe after we started winning, we looked like we could be the top, one of the best teams in the nation, right? But what bothered me was we couldn't close. Like, we looked great, and then at the end of the game, the team's down by 6. Notre Dame actually took the lead, and I knew that was a problem. I was like, something's not right there. Florida State's driving, they're down by 6. They're trying to kick an onside kick. And we kind of dominated the game. So I knew as good as we looked that was a problem there. Now, when teams learn how to win, we haven't won in a long time. So you got to learn how to win. And I think it's been steps from the 5 wins that Mario somehow got 4 years ago, right? It's been steps. I think we saw a leader in Cam Ward last year come through. And now we're at a next level to where there's flashes. That second half at Stanford, that's like a flash of a good team. When you can just walk in, snap your finger, and boom, 35 points. These motherfuckers are dead. And that's like a sign of a good team. But bro, I know for a fact we're talented enough to be in the ACC championship ahead of a Virginia and a Georgia Tech. There's not one dude in this comment section that's going to argue me that. They can't pay, they can't recruit at the level that we recruit. So get it out y'all heads. They don't have the guys we have. They have the guys we don't want. Does it take much? Look at Kurt Signetti. He went to Indiana. He went to Indiana basketball school, brought in some kids from James Madison. Started kicking ass last year. Everybody said, oh, man, that's Indiana, the weakest team in the playoffs. now they look like a bully. That was 2 years, wasn't it?
Yep.
It doesn't. With the resources we have, it doesn't take this long.
Man, I've been saying this story. We've been saying the same thing for years, man. Go ahead, finish.
It doesn't take this long. No, it doesn't take this long. We go way back with the Randy, and it doesn't take this long. Then I think the program was playing when it came to football. They were hiring guys that weren't really qualified to coach on this level at that time. I don't think Manny was ready. Randy wasn't ready. Like, we were hiring those guys, right? So that was the nightmare that I once spoke of, right? The nightmare became over when we decided to, hey, who's the hot guy out there? Mario? Okay, let's pay him. I was like, that's when I woke up. Like, oh, now we talking. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking. So I don't really count those years. Like even Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, they were just guys. They were guys smart enough to see that, God damn, there's some talent in this room and take advantage of it. But if you go see what they did before they came here, they were just guys. When I talked to Bain, OG Bain, I say, did y'all know Jimmy Johnson? No. He walked in the room, he had blonde hair. We didn't know who he was, but he started going crazy on our ass real fast. He was just a guy that knew what to do with talent. And Snellenberger, they got the ball. Well, Snellenberger wasn't the guy. He came from the NFL, yada yada yada. But Dion, I mean, they were guys that knew what to do with talent. Then we kept trying to hire guys, and we got the wrong guys for like 20 years. But now I think the program is ready to flex. You know what I'm saying? Put some money into it. So we go get a Mario. Everybody's darling. He played football here. Friends with Michael Irvin. He's improved the program. I'm afraid that we've topped out. I am. And that's just being honest.
You know, you look at Oregon, and they had more success than us, quite frankly, because they won the conference championship. But, you know, the things that maybe held them back or that they were not able to get over the hump on, penalties, just the overall explosiveness of the offense.
That's what it was when he was there. Yeah, some of the same.
Losing to as a double-digit favorite, you know, multiple times.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm always going to be a believer just because that's my nature. I mean, listen, my thing is like, if we're all here anyways, I'm going to try to focus on ways that can work, or else I'll do something else with my time.
Yeah.
But to this point, if someone were to say, hey, this is the ceiling, this is what you had at Oregon, this is what you're doing now, you got plenty of money, this is the ceiling, what can you say? How can you tell them they're wrong based on what you've seen? So our
Cane fans don't bring up Oregon anymore. They can't. They don't. We can't say, oh, Dan Lanning's winning with Mario kids, because we can't even recognize what the fuck Dan Lanning's doing over there. He's doing something else. That's something different.
Well, they're winning the games they're supposed to win. I mean, that's one big, you know, because I look at Oregon's team. I don't think Oregon's team, honestly, on paper is that much better than us this year as far as the players. You know, they got very similar, actually. They got a good quarterback. You know, he's up and down, but very talented. I think he's going to be really good. I don't think there's a huge difference between Dante Moore and Beck. I think our offensive line, pass blocking is better. Run blocking, they've been better. You know, the running backs are young guys. Their best receivers, Decorian Moore, just a freshman like Malachi Tony. They don't have a ton of explosive receivers. They have a lot of the same kind of issues we have, but the difference with Oregon is when they're playing one of these games, double-digit favorites, I mean, you don't even think about it. It's not like you're tuning in, oh, Oregon might lose one here. Like, they're winning those games. They'll lose to Indiana in a tough game against a top 10 team. They'll lose to an Oregon in the playoffs, but they're not losing these kind of games anymore. And that's, unfortunately, the reality of the situation.
Yeah. But listen, D, man, I'll say this, bro. Listen, we all are Cane fans. I'm the media, but I mean, now media is a little different. You don't have to be impartial. We can do it however we want to do it. You know what I'm saying? We all are Cane fans. Help is on the way. I mean, help is on the way. There's some decisions that has to be made in behind those walls, man. And if they don't happen, we may continue to see some of the same. It could be fixed. Yeah, it definitely could be fixed.
I'm kind of how much longer we got you, by the way? Because you've been going on for an hour.
I gotta go jump on a plane.
Yeah, get your plugs in. Hold on, real quick. By the way, someone said in the comments earlier. I was going to get to it. Somebody said, you know, these because you're being critical when you were talking in one of the chats. I think it was Sterling Williams said, you know, D's not going to want Streeter back. Street, as you know, you got an open invitation here, and you know you're never going to get, hey, you can't say this. You might upset some people. You can't. Street, this is the script. Have I ever sent you a script in my life? No.
I told D, listen, I'm going to be honest this morning. And D Money said, come on. No. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. I'm going to come up here and say what I want to say. Actually, D texted me 6 o'clock in the morning, however what time it is, because I think he knows I'm going to come up here and say the truth, how I see it, right? You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not that anymore. I mean, it's not that with D. D100, man. I mess with D.
No, man. A lot of people mess with you, myself including me. You talk about 2,500 on live right now. You're in a hotel room. Shaking off the cobwebs from a tough game, but yeah, man, that's why we bring you on, man. You're gonna bring the truth, you're gonna bring the energy, perspective, and No, man, we need to do more of these. Hopefully after the wins, man. We had to wait till loss. We kept missing each other during the wins. You were moving and stuff. And now we got to bring you on for a loss. I was ready to celebrate with you, man. We'd be laying back, having fun, cracking jokes. This is a serious show today, man. We were cracking too many jokes this time.
Hey, listen, man. I'm in the end zone yesterday, and they run the ball 8 times in overtime. 6, if they run it at least 7 times. And I'm saying to myself, okay, we're just going to play for the field goal, put our defense out there, right? I guess, you know what I'm saying? And when they decided to throw the ball, I was surprised. Because you just ran it 7 times in a row. The decision Carson made, like, in that moment, it's only one thing that could lose you the game is throw an interception. At quarterback, you can't do that. You can't do it. Yeah, that's one of my villains, dog. Shout out to
Sterling.
But you can't do it. No, I mean, at quarterback, no, you can't do it. But I just kept asking myself as I'm standing next to the SMU cheerleaders, like, how do we get here? Like, how do we get in overtime with SMU? Miami Hurricane State. How do we get in overtime? How do we get here? And if nothing changes, bro, there's going to be a lot of how do we get here in the future.
I could have copied and pasted some of these posts I've been making and things we've been doing, man, because it's 20 years. We got a lot of experience in this thing right here, this type of show. The victory shows are probably the ones like the Notre Dame one. I didn't know what to say.
Right.
You know, these shows we've been doing, unfortunately, for a long time, man, and a lot of the same notes kind of getting hit. So, hey, appreciate you. Get your plugs and let them know. Let them know where they can find
listen,
you.
Man. For the people who don't know who I am, you probably think I'm like a park coach or something like that. I don't know. It's Footballville. Go follow me at Footballville. We got over 1 million followers across social media. If you want to be a villain, that's our membership. Those guys get in there and talk about Kane stuff all night long. Just text us 786-405-9499. You can follow us at Caneville on Twitter. We have 30,000 followers. Follow us at Footballville on Instagram, TikTok, social media. We have over in all 1 million followers in all. Been doing it for a while. I kind of started with youth football. Then I went to high school. I was one of the first guys on the sideline with a cell phone. For the people who don't really know who I was, dog. All I knew is I wanted to be faster than South Florida. It used to be called South Florida Network or something like that. I just wanted to be faster than them. So I was like, if I shoot this with my phone, I could go straight to Twitter, and they can't do that because they're sending cameramen out to the games, and they got to go home and edit. So I didn't even know it was legal to be on the sideline with a phone. So I've been doing it a while, man, for maybe 10 years. So go follow us. D wouldn't have me on here if I didn't have some damn cachet or some validity to what I'm doing.
All right, listen, that's a fact. But we love having you on, man. You tell me, you got an open invite. Anytime, you know, I'm happy to do it. Get on there whenever. Talk to the villains, man. Although I know you got that thing handled.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you in there, bro.
I love it, man. I like being the guest. Because I can kind of let loose a little more.
I'll bring you in there. I'm sure they'll like that too.
I'm upset. You know, we got to be. We kept missing each other during the wins. So now we got to do this one, man. I wanted to have like a fun one. We're just cracking the whole time, having fun. And it was a business one this time, man. It was some serious faces, some serious situations.
Hey, man, maybe they get lucky, and you know, the ACC's like Final Destination. Everybody gets their turn to lose, right? Like you watched last night, Georgia Tech go down. Like maybe, just maybe, it's hope season. Just maybe, teams start losing, and the shit comes back to us. And then we can get in here and have some fun, all right?
They're saying, bring it on. I'm in, man. You tell me. But yeah, listen, I'm with you. Let's just be positive. Look, be real. But all we could do, we're gonna watch the games anyways, man. I just hope, like all this JoJo talk, I hope we're doing this show after he goes, 170, right, against Syracuse, and everybody's asking about him, and that's the show I want to have and we want to have. So. Hopefully it works out. There's no guarantees, as we know, man. But appreciate you always bringing the real. And 2,500 on Street or Sunday is how it goes.
Appreciate you, bro. All right.
Be good.
You.
Safe flight. All right, fellas. That's why we bring him on, man. Love having Street on. Always brings it. That's why Footballville is as big as it is. Get through my my Sunday morning of pain. Need a little help. That's where BUZZN comes in, just to take the top off. Drink BUZZN.com. Use code FIRST50 for 50% off. 7.5 milligrams of real THC infused seltzer. Cherry, strawberry, watermelon. All bubbles, no troubles. I know there are a lot of hangovers this morning. So if you want to feel better, maybe switch to the BUZZN, the drink BUZZN.com to order. That's drink BUZZN.com, or you can get it live and in person in South Florida in Big Daddy's Liquors. Also, like I said, you guys are going to need time to get your mind off. We'll have our show. We'll all talk. We'll all vent. And then afterwards, probably get your mind off the Canes a little bit. KashKick, one of the top apps in America. Number 4 in the lifestyle category, over 4.5 plus average rating, 1.5 million plus downloads. You download the app, KashKick, that's KashKick. You get all your games consolidated here. Puzzles, racing games, action games, you name it, they have it here on KashKick. It just consolidates it all, so whatever you're into, you get. And then as you play, you make money. Not going to be your steady income. This is going to be money on the side just for playing games, having fun, competing. And for that money you earn that goes to you, the American Cancer Society will receive a donation in kind, the same amount of money from the advertisers. So you get paid, American Cancer Society gets a donation for its very, very worthy cause, and you play fun games. The rare triple win for KashKick, KashKick, and the Play It Forward campaign. Whew, man, it's been a lot. For not wanting to talk about the Canes, I've been talking about the Canes a lot today. It's been it's been hard. But we had good guests, man. I wanted to get those guys on and let you guys vent in the chat. I appreciate everybody. We got some super chats. Let me make sure I don't miss them. All right. If I ever do miss a super chat, slap me, because it's hard. You guys are supporting the show so much, and so much stuff coming in. I want to make sure I get everybody. 27 Kane. Well, that was a good point. No Josh Moore after what he showed us. Mario Dawson got to get this figured out. Is it Dawson or Mario? And I don't know, but I do know we got to get that Josh Moore situation figured out, because he is showing you flashes, but he's not getting it going consistently. Dan Alden saying GT's outspending SMU, outspending UVA, outspending. Yeah, we're outspending all those guys by a lot. 27 Kane. Good point. Jojo, you getting over-punished for a mistake when offensive lines, a lot of penalties. I do think you need some more accountability on the offensive line. That's just unacceptable after all this time, when it's supposed to be the heart and soul of the team. Eddie says, Morrow's a meathead who's stuck in his ways. I'm so done with him. Every year's the same thing. We have the talent to win a natty, man. I appreciate you. Look, maybe people were overrating our talent, but it wasn't just coming from Canes fans. It is something that's happening across the country when they watch Miami. They all said we had the talent to win the national championship, and ultimately does not look like we're going to get it done. Just trying to go 1-0 this week, man. It's been a lot of 0-1s lately. Certainly some painful ones. So got to go get this thing on the right track, because this season can go off the rails. That's what I'm worried about. So right now, I'm just worried about getting by Syracuse, and that's not a guarantee. Like and subscribe to the show. Again, appreciate everybody joining us here. Go Canes.